Alright. Hello, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen. I guess it's about time to mention about the bad news of what happened to Texans. And I'm like, nah, come on, dude. Really? How did y'all just lost? Which I'm like, okay. I'm just going to go right ahead and just pull up the magic book that I'm just going to pull up anyways. Which I know, like I said, I'm still being sarcastic by saying is like, oh, give me a second. I'm going to pull something out of my ass for a hat. So, just being sarcastic, just as a joke. That's it. Now, here's what I'm going to say anyway that I'm like, holy shit. Like, that is like the longest wins I almost had ever seen in the playoffs. Bro, Texans nailed every single win by win and win and ranked every single one. Like, holy damn. Like, that is impressive. Like, very impressive from the Texans of Houston. Like, bro, imagine how many times that was until week 9. Like, literally until week 9. Which, of course, I know it's complete obvious that it was the Broncos that beat them again. Now it was the Patriots. I'm like, bro, this adds up a lot differently. And I'm like, holy god damn it. Like, how the hell did I still not see that coming for how Texans were going to avoid the Patriots this time, but yet had lost? I'm like, come on, dude. Like, are you really kidding me right now? Which, like I said, I know I'm going to keep on yapping. I know I'm going to keep saying that, but like I said, just hear me out, y'all, that I have to say for what my honest reaction would still be for how many massive, crazy wins from Texans we're doing. That is like complete wild, likely nonstop. That is wild. Like, not only it was wild to watch and witness the whole amount of this time, I'm like, bro, the wins are insane. Literally, almost every single win was ranked up to every single time that was happening. Like, not only it was happening, but I gotta be reading all of those weeks until week 9. Oh man, do I get some reading to do? Literally, since I know I can't pull up the screen exactly at this point by showing many review wins exactly at this point, but I can just still say from what I'm talking about. But good damn it, Texans, y'all were so close again. You guys were this effing close to just nail it again and probably win your first Super Bowl this time, which I was going to be very proud to see them do it. But yet, on some other occasion, they just got whipped by a different and difficult team that was no other than the Patriots, which I'm like, come on, really? From England? From England? Why am I not surprised? Seriously, why would I not be surprised to see how that would have gone down anyway? But come on, like, how the bloody hell did that ever happen? Not only I would say is like, how did that even happen? I'm like, come on now, really? Because of course, again, I was gonna have to say is like, come on, CJ, you had this in the bag. You know, for this the receiver thrower, and for most of anyone else of the Texans' defenses offline, off pretty much likely like many other lines apparently that were from there and there. But I'm like, man, that is so not good. Like, of course it had to be Patriots of England. Of course it would have to be that occasion. But all I'm saying again, it's just a total wow. Really? They could have still would have gone up there and would have meet the Broncos head to head exactly for that match. But nope, I guess that has been declined, which that actually sucks. So yeah, I guess it's gonna be some reading time to do, which I actually did remember, by the way. The last time I've already made another video was about like, oh, it was between two other teams that I just didn't sincerely like. Again, was the 40 damn Niners and the Packers, which was complete bullshit to begin with. Again, which I still stand by. I always will stand by that, and I always will say when I will say it. So I'm calling it. It still remains bullshit. To remember this day, I've already had remembered it. So don't need any reminders or flashbacks about it. I've already know about that even before the game even completely started. Before when that happened, and then finally got to the playoffs. That's it. So, anyway, here we go again. But this time I know it's going to be the Broncos, the Texans, and Patriots at this point again. At this very point, exactly, it makes sense why it makes sense on the thumbnail. I screenshot the thumbnail exactly. Which, like I said, I have no dispute between Broncos or Patriots. Well, less dispute of the Patriots, I probably would say, because, bro, it's been almost 11 damn times that Seahawks whipped them anyway. So that's just the point I could probably just mention otherwise. But the Broncos, not really sure, but that's just an unsure question for that, which I might have to look that up anyway. Like, how many times have Seahawks beat the Broncos in the playoffs, which that's even another crazy sign to kind of overestimately to look at, but that's a little bit of a different sign just to kind of look to, but not most likely of anywhere else, but whatever. So let me just get to the point here. So, as of how week 9 turned out exactly from all the way to the finals, that is going to be a long reading. Like, it's going to give me a long amount of reading, which I don't know why I'm going to get to this, but I probably am going to. So, yeah, here we go. Yeah, so far I'm at right now, just pretty much like here, exactly from what I'm looking at right here. So I'm gonna probably just remember week 9 before we even probably wrap this up anyway. So, damn it, the Broncos beat the Texans by 18 and 15, which I'm like, yeah, that's not a good sign. I'm like, damn, that's gotta really be hurting right there. And then let's check out the next other week for Texans' other week. All right, let's see what they had to face against. Which, oh my God, they even beat the Titans. They literally beat the Titans, but yet not the Broncos in Week 9, which I know that sucked anyway. But hey, at least they actually did pretty well for those wins anyway. Just to kind of round up the wins anyway and gather the wins anyway. Like, they finally beat the Titans, even though the Titans were kind of a bit weak a little bit, just to have like, I don't know, not many wins they usually get, at least at that point, but whatever still stands. Whatever at least makes the less stands anyway. So I guess that's gotten something for right there. I guess it's probably 16 and 13. Now let's go ahead to the next one. Oh yeah, they were facing against the Buffalo Bills by 23 and 19 in week 12. Oh wow. That there actually surprised me off guard, but that actually is very well impressive. I'll give it that right there. That is damn impressive. And the next win was definitely 20 to 16. I mean, normally I would be surprised to say this, but good freaking damn. Like another 20 and to 16. Yep, there we go again for another amount of another big score. Let's see what week 14 has desired right here. So, oh, let's freaking go. Like, that is an awesome memory I would totally would keep forever. Bro, finally, 20 and 10 against the cheating cheater ass Chiefs. Thank Jesus. Like, that's a better way I can say it. Like, nicely done. All right, and week 15, let's go ahead and check this out, what on week 15 was about. And yet, let's see. Oh, they beat the Cardinals by a 40. 40 and 20. Ouch. Which, like I said, I know that the Cardinals didn't do as much as very quite well and assistantly, but all I gotta say is, damn, I never expected that Houston Texans really gamed up for a 40 right in that 15th week. That is insane. Like, imagine getting all of those right there from a higher standing. Wow. Man, that I gotta be impressive about. And oh, yes. Week 16. Guess we gotta all see now the next to witness that Texans beat the Raiders by 23 and 21. Yikes. Another smack out for that reason. And let's see what else has desired for week 17. All right, let's see what the Texans have this time. Oh, yeah, they beat the Chargers by a 20, which I was thankfully being happy to see that, which I'm like, thank Jesus. Like, oh, hell yes. Like, beat the Chargers by a 20 and 16. That is good. Really impressive. Absolutely. Now let's just check on the final one. That is 18 apparently. So, oh my God, the they beat the Colts again. by 38-30. Nice. I will be like, nice. They really beat them in that time right there. That was actually pretty damn insane, by the way. Like, bro, that is like literally the most insane thing I could ever probably would have said right now. But yeah, damn, that is like literally insane. So, anyway, that's all I probably would want to say right now. And oh, yes, before we do jump right into the next one, by the way, that I'm going to jump to next, is that here we go. We're about to mention something here exactly in the next spot. What we're going to be talking about is no than other than the Super Bowl, or should I say, the playoffs. Which, yeah, here we go this time to know how this is going to turn out right now. All right, so before we do get started on this one here, is that, well, let's take a look on the first one the Texans did this time. Bro, they beat the Steelers by a 30. Wow, even a massive well done for how Texans did. That is crazy, and I love it. Like I said, I'll stand with that, and I'll actually be saying is like, yeehaw, let's go. And then now, the unfortunate disappointment for this one. The Patriots beat the Texans by a 28-16. Oh Lord, here we go. Now, as I gotta say this is again, is that I probably am saying is that, well, not close to being a diehard fan of Texans yet, but all I gotta say, I'm kind of on the middle average of it. But like I said, for the Seahawks side, for me, I'm always the master diehard of Seahawks fan at that point. So, not pretty close with Texans though, but like I still said, I give more answers for Texans anyway, just to give a bit more interesting talking about that a little bit and criticism of me talking about that. But like I said, not close enough, but a little bit exactly on the middle exactly. But you know me for a little minute. It's going to only just be in the middle. But anyway, let me just go ahead and just say this for right now of what's really going to be happening is that, man, I just cannot believe they were just out by the Patriots. Like, bro, Texans could have still won the whole damn thing. They could have still gotten this close to outbeat the Patriots. But yet again, they just got fallen back down and were out anyways. Like, come on, man. That sucks. Like, man, I guess the Texans version is definitely not complete. It's been more likely been destroyed, incomplete. So, damn it. It could have still won there. But yet again, what I'm actually going to be really pissed off now is the damn Rams. Which don't get me completely started on that right now because I wish that the Bears would have been up there. But nope. I guess the Texans version is definitely yet again incomplete and definitely failed, which means it totally failed. So I guess all I can say for right now and say this anyway for the prayer and say is this is that, well, yeah, I wish Texans very good well and deep heartedly exactly for that question by saying is like, well, even y'all did the best. Even y'all did came pretty close again anyways, just to try to like eliminate the Patriots differently, but I guess the fail just was the fail. Exactly, it wasn't close enough to win. Which, like I said, I'm not going to hate the Texans, by the way, by any chance. For those who would say is like, oh, aren't you going to be hating them? The answer is F no. I would still never hate them because, dude, they won massive shit wins. They won a massive shit wins with a capital W. And then, of course, I'm going to say the other word too is massive shit. Like they've won a lot more times than I've expected. Like, man, no one has ever encountered each win in history, bro. Well, except two teams apparently did whip the Texans at that point for week 9 and the playoffs, which I actually will not forget, which I think that kind of sucked for them a little bit for that. So, well, rip Rip the Texans. Rip. And like I said, normally I would still get mad, but at least, like I said, I have no beef against the Broncos or maybe less of Patriots at this time right now. Which, like I said, I've already had made a top 10 or 5 of the hated teams I just don't like anyways. Which that's all I can say as of now, which I have not made another version of that yet. But at this very point right now, I gotta say is that hopefully Texans try to win next time and might still get another succeeding chance again to win the playoffs again, which I'm not sure how that will go out, but if they try to win the very first time ever in history, if they do that, that would be awesome. But if not, then I guess it's going to fully repeat itself as more likely of history itself, I think, in the NFL version kind of whatever that's going to go on, I guess. But that's going to be a story for the day of me mentioning why of how that was turning down. So, ouch. Ah, yes. Ouch. But anyways, that being said, I just hope that you guys understood what I was talking about of why that happened, which I did wish the Texans very well, that they did so freaking fantastic in every single second, that they kept smacking win to smacking win the whole way around, and just was actually being seriously focused, a lot more concentrated ever than before. And I'm like, damn, this is exactly where I might like the Texans in a very good spot at that. And I'm like, no way. I'm like talking like, no way. Like, bro, that is got to be the most insane things I had ever watched as in history to see how that went all down. So, just an honest story, an honest conversation, as I would want to say myself as a Texans fan, as a bit of a Texans fan, just to quote it exactly, that I just definitely want to wish them that they actually did a very good job. So freaking good, really massively good, and did so well and fantastic the way that they did so freaking better. So, nice job, great effort, and y'all did great. Even though they did lost to the Broncos and Patriots, I probably would still say is that, well, what really does matter next is I hope that Seahawks has no word of competition of overthrowing three teams away, which I know, like I said, the first team I just don't really like as much is the Rams, to definitely toss them overboard, which, like I said, that's the next target that Seahawks better focus and eliminate on their defense and better beat those Rams for good. And I hope the Seahawks tries to win yet again, just tries to do a very good, successful win as more likely than any other. So hopefully the Rams will lose next. And Seahawks, I hope that you guys do not lose this. Please do not lose this, okay? I really am meaning it. Please don't lose this for your team. Don't lose this in Seattle, bro. Please don't lose this. And then, of course, I'm from the other side, I won't have to worry about too often, which, like I said, I will have no hate dispute between that on the AFC as of now. So, the only team I would definitely consider seeing who would win better would definitely be the Broncos at this point and eliminate the pretty much the Patriots of England. Just the England Patriots. That's what I'm pretty much going to be quoting it with the fingers, just to kind of get that understanding anyway, for those who probably would have like a smart, intelligent brain a little bit for that question. So, yeah, and no offense. No offense. For those who, like I said, again, I'm always going to catch the word, no offense. Anyway, as I'm going to say again, hopefully this version of the Seahawks version remains complete. It will be Seahawks taking on the Broncos like it's a horse versus a hawk, which is going to be pretty damn good. So hopefully it's going to be good, and I hope it will be completed, and I hope to say in most many odds and questions that I hope it will happen soon enough for the Seahawks to beat the Broncos one damn final knockdown exactly. Which, even though that the final knockdown would be the Rams to eliminate them on home exactly and send them to Cancun, but at this point, it's going to be time when the Seahawks will face the Broncos in a very highly amount of a win streak I would ever get to see. Which I'm like, bro, I'm so happy for both teams to still be making this further enough, and I'm glad that I've always been choosing two teams anyway to begin with. Which also, I'm not taking the word back. I actually have loved it, and I granted it, and I liked it of that wish. So, like I said, I'm not going to waste that wish. That wish is going to stay with me forever and as always forever. So, nothing to change minds about it. and nothing as nothing. So that's all I'm going to say. And I hope at the end of the day, I'm going to be glad to see how this is going to go right on ahead and see how the finals are going to be like, which I'm going to be like, it's time for Seahawks and Broncos to meet up head to head to face each other, and we'll get to have the most best ways possible. And hopefully, either which two teams are going to go, it's Patriots and Rams, that they probably should be off and definitely out of here at this point. So that's all I'm going to talk about, and that's all I wanted to say, and just get that off my mind and get that out of my chest, anyways. For the full explanation of the Seahawks version, if that wish does come true, then I hope it does come true. But if it doesn't, oh man, I'm going to be screaming. Like, I'm going to be screaming my freaking head off if I see the Seahawks losing this time, which I hope they don't lose. I don't know if they might come in third place, though, but I hope they remain at the first time to win at this point with number one, because Seahawks and Broncos are the only teams that need to be focused on, more likely, to eliminate the Rams and Patriots, even though I'm using a little bit of smart, genius way of a move to see which is going to be better, which I definitely both see why. I can just see why how two teams are going to be able to meet up just to face each other in the finals, which I'd be likely to be glad to see that happen soon enough to watch it. So that being said, I just want to show you guys why I prefer that better, exactly with the Seahawks and Broncos, yet again to head up to face each other at that point. So hopefully it stays to happen, and I hope to say it'll be granted as it will be granted of its last final wish. So that being said again, I hope it happens, and I hope it does happen anyway, because I'm like, yeah, I hope it really comes down to that anyways. I really hope it does come down to that and really see what this is going to go on about. But yeah, once again, I hope to say is rest in peace for Texans. May try to win another year next time, but hopefully Texans will have to stay focused, even more stronger focused than like pretty much whatever happened for like the Not gonna say last year's time of the Super Bowl because that was completely rigged. So anyway, that being said, I will see you guys soon enough next time. So thank you guys for watching, and yeah, it's going to be a little bit hard for me to say is like, well, rest in peace for Texans, rest in peace, which even though they are still going, but they probably would have tried again next time, which they still could try it again next time of next year. But let's just see what happens anyway. So, my only commitment I want to probably say out there for those who are like real Devin-Foxy fans out there, let's support the Seahawks and cheer them on and beat the Rams for good. Please. We all need to beat those Rams, and they need to go down like the Rams that they are to lose. Highly to lose. But yet again, let's find out and see what happens, and let's see where this goes, which I'm going to be glad that I'm going to wear the Seahawks hat, and hopefully I'll be happy enough to see that happen for the Seahawks out there to win and beat the Rams for the last final time and saying goodbye. So that being said, it's going to be a more big whipping time on those Rams to get whipped even more again. So, oh, here we go. One last final down, and that will be happening. So, that being said, it is time to wrap this up and it's time to sign out. So, thank you guys again for watching. This is yours truly again, Golden Devin-Foxy with Mastered again. And of course, once and as always, I'm going to go right ahead and sign out. And this is just my conversation of what even the hell even happened with Texans out there by facing Patriots. Oh my God. But anyway, that being said, I hope to say otherwise that, well, hope the Seahawks has finally got the strongest chance of all, that I hope that they can win out there and totally annihilate the Rams. So, that being said, see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. And this, by the way, has been one hell of a season I had ever seen. For the Texans' greatest wins at all the time. The best wins ever. Like, I mean, this might be my very first book I would ever be saying this right now. Literally right now. I'm like, wow. They somehow surprised me, but yet it wasn't very good news for until two teams apparently beginning from end had definitely lost, which I'm like, oh no. I'm like, oh no. That's not looking too good. Anyway, that being said, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. So thank you guys so much for watching. And by any chance, again, this was pretty like much like a conversation talk, a little bit like that here and there, just for the conversation of what just really even happened out there. So that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this long amount of a video of me talking about what the hell even happened out there. But anyway, that being said, I'm going to go ahead and sign out. And oh yes, by the way, there is going to be a shout out that I might actually do a shout out, like one shout out I might give, by the way, that I might recently do exactly. And we'll find another reaction video to get to. And then finally, well, just make 2 reaction videos and get to the point of it. So that being said, hope that you guys enjoyed this video. And yes, this was a time I want to talk about. And yeah, it was my time to talk about it. And I was like, oh no. But yeah. Anyways, that being said, we all gotta cheer the Seahawks out there because we need to like stand up and say their names by saying like Seahawks, Seahawks. Like we need to do that right now because it's gonna be the most important thing out there in history that we all need Seahawks to win this again. Even though that they might have a choice to consider to face against on the side of the AFC at the left, which I know it's going to be a very hard choice to go for. But like I said, as long as they beat those Rams down, they need to beat them and they need to stop them right now and put the end to the Rams right that second and right now. And no, I do not care if I was going too hard for that. They really need to lose, apparently, right now. Anyway, that being said, and yes, it's just how I'm going to be saying it anyway, and just fully matter of like what I always would say anyway. Not all the time, but it's just going to have to be worth its time anyway for any of that to happen. So, that being said, it's time to cheer for the Seahawks, and they're not going to lose this. So, that being said, I'll see you guys soon enough for the next video. As truly as always, I'll see you guys absolutely in the next video. And please be sure to do these 4 things before we wrap this up is give this video a like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified. That way, you guys will not miss a single video that comes on this channel, as always. And I want to say is like, congratulations for Texans for beating the other teams away. Well, except except the Broncos and Patriots, probably. So that's all I can probably say for them out of it. But anyway, that being said, I'll see you guys for the next video, and it's been a very interesting pleasure of a season I had ever witnessed and watched for the entire way route. Anyway, that being said, see you guys next time. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys for the next video. And yes, the next reaction video is coming soon for a shout out that I might actually do, even if it's going to be random. Then trust me, I'll actually at least find something random anyways and get to that point anyway. And as that being said, I'll see you guys apparently, and I mean absolutely, in the next video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys for the next video. Bye-bye, everybody. See you guys next time. And yes, it is I, Golden Devin-Foxy, remastered again. And we'll see you guys for the next video. Bye-bye, everyone, and signing off.